Welcome to this presentation of UPSL Soccer Action, live on YouTube and presented by the Atlantic Soccer Media Group.
Good afternoon, everyone. We are live from Riverdale, Georgia. The UPSL Georgia Spring Regional Cup Round 1 continues. We've got the defending champs, Atl Rovers FC. We've got FC Atl Academy, and it's next. Welcome back, folks. It's a chilly, overcast day here at Southern Crescent Stadium. My name is Drew Dickinson, the voice of the UPSL Georgia, and once again joined by the wizard, Mr. Larry Weaver. I'm happy to be back in the saddle, partner, after a very interesting business week, to say the least. I'm excited for this game, brother.
Yeah, we've been off for a little bit. We're just almost done wrapping up the fall season. The national finals are happening today. And here we are already into the spring season, kicking off the Regional Cup here in Georgia. We've had two great matches so far. Moving on to what is one of the juggernauts of the Premier Division down here in Georgia, Atl Rovers, taking on a team that is from the Division I FC Atl Academy.
You know, last time we saw Atl Rovers, speaking of interesting, they had themselves a very interesting finish where they lost the game but never got scored on. So it's good to see them back out on the pitch.
One of those things where everything that could go wrong did go wrong for Atl Rovers. And it was just one of those things where, they were taking on LGSA and, they lost that match 2-1. Unfortunately, those two own goals. And that happens sometimes in this crazy, wacky in this game called soccer, right?
Absolutely, 100%. Lots of unexpected events occur. As if you're just now joining us, we've got Atl Rovers FC going from right to left in their white tops, and in the in the navy blue tops, we have FC Atl Academy going from left to right. Going to have a throw-in for the visitors. Throw-in's taken quickly by Manuel Montagut. Throws it inside the 18. Jorge Valdivino steps off his line for the Rovers, collects that with ease, pushes his squad up the field. He's going to roll it out to the left to Claire. McConan is going to be unable to maintain possession. He's going to roll out for another throw-in for FC Atl Academy. Deep in the third of the Rovers. Montagut on the throw once again. Throws it square. He's going to receive it right back to his feet. Going to try and push it on the inside. McConan Claire able to get a clearance out up that left side. Sloppy touch by Rovers once again. It's going to force another FC Atl Academy throw-in. This time it's going to be right in front of their bench. Montagut once again. McConan Claire is going to head it off over the goal line for a corner for FC Atl. We're about 3 minutes in, and it's been all FC Atl so far. Let's see if they can reward themselves from this corner here early on. Corner's going to be taken by Martin Ramirez. They call him Super Martin. Out swinging corner is away, right at the top of the 6. Headed away by the Rovers, collected by FC Atl. Ramon Sanz plays Ramirez off the back of Rovers. It'll be a throw once again for FC Atlanta, who are just resting in the defensive third of Atlanta Rovers FC. Valdivinos directing traffic inside his own 18. Montague on the throw. It's collected by Abale Diop. Diop is going to be unable to maintain possession himself. It will be a goal kick for Atlanta Rovers FC. Like I mentioned before, they are the summer 2022 Regional Cup champs, here to defend their crown.
Yeah, Drew, for the Atlanta Rovers, they came into that fall season just absolutely on fire, winning that Regional Cup. They were really moving, and then when Luke Sexton went down injured, they really stepped back and just kind of made their way through the season.
But manager of the year, Mr. Ayub Aloui, was able to pick up the pieces for Rovers FC and continue that playoff route. Like we said before, they entered the playoffs knocked out by just unimaginable circumstances, knocked out by not even having a goal scored on them. And we'll just leave it at that. Don't want to beat up on the defending champs.
But they lost to the playoff champion, LGSA. They were able to beat Atlanta United Academy in the finals. So at least they can put their crown on. They went down against the champs.
If you're watching at home, you see the familiar faces on the Rovers bench. Rennie Matthews, their top goal scorer, Alejandro Rodriguez, who missed about 5-6 weeks himself due to injury last season. And, of course, Sebastian Montero, who played with Atletico Atlanta and won the national championship here in the UPSL just a couple of years ago. So lots of studs, lots of firepower on that Rovers bench. We're going to see what they're made of. Hopefully we'll see some of them in the second half, barring an injury. But you can rest assured, come opening day in March, Rodriguez, Montero, Matthews, and company will be on the field for Rovers. Valdivinos with the ball at his feet, pushes it out to the right side of the defense. Highly pressured by this FC Atlanta Academy press, forcing the ball back to Valdivinos. Ball's bouncing inside the 18. Paolucci up in the air, leaving it for Valdivinos. Ryan Paolucci, one of the elder statesmen on the pitch right now with Captain McConan Clare for this Rovers FC squad. Always got to have a little bit of experience on the pitch to lead these newcomers who are just getting some experience here in this regional cup. Little experience in the UPSL, but lots of experience in the sport nonetheless. Paolucci himself, a former Potros player. Augusto Del Rio, a former Potros player. And Jorge Valdivinos, a former Potros player here in the UPSL. Rovers able to... Nice corner flick, trying to go to the near post, unsuccessful. It's going to sail over the line for another Rovers goal kick. Rovers looked like they poached a little bit from Potros FC, Larry. And
yeah, and that's one of the things that we talked about coming into this spring season with Potros FC not playing this season. You're seeing a lot of those really good players getting poached by other teams. It's the same thing that we saw last year when Matata decided to not play a season, and we saw all of Matata's players get dispersed amongst teams, whether they went to Kalanji Pro Profile or even with Lionel Tarud, who ended up going to Atlanta United's Academy and unfortunately got injured back in that spring season.
FC Atlanta Academy, no slouches themselves. In the fall season, they were ranked second in the Eastern Conference of the Division I in points, only surpassed by goal differential versus Kalanji, who they beat 2 times out of the 3 games they played, thus reaching the final of the playoffs where they were the finalists versus Dalton. So lots of experience on the field for both teams, lots of experienced teams. I like and look forward to seeing quite the competitive game this afternoon, Larry. And
FC Atlanta really had an opportunity to take home the Division I championship and get promoted into the Premier League. Unfortunately, just kind of stumbled those last 2 or 3 matches, ended up allowing Kalanji Pro Profile's second team to make their way into the championship.
Winning the 2023 Spring Regional Cup would set well for FC Atl Academy and their sponsor, Soccer Locker. Soccer Locker, the best soccer sport in town, the last call in soccer cleats, and best jersey clubs and national team in Pleasant Hill. Go visit the Soccer Locker, sponsor here for FC Atl Academy. Jacob Harden in possession, drops it back, cleared up the right side, one back in possession by FC Atlanta. Ball's in the air, 50-50 ball. Won by FC Atl Academy as they're looking to sneak through. Leon Gonzalez at the top of the 18, dispossessed by Sebastian Lopez, who clears it up the right side, unable to keep it in bounds. It will be a throw-in for FC Atlanta on the far side of the pitch. We are about 10 minutes in. Score remains tied at 0. We are live in Riverdale, Georgia from Southern Crescent Stadium. 2023 Georgia Spring Regional Cup. My name is Drew Dickinson, joined by Larry Weaver. A couple of games earlier today. Club the Strongest able to take down Atl Academy. And Cochos FC and Volpe played to a forfeit. Interesting day here in round 1 of the Regional Cup. Got a great contest to end the day. LGSA, the league runner-up last season, taking on Clayton International FC, who fared pretty well themselves in Division I last season. Clayton going to be looking to make a little bit of noise, a little bit more noise than they did last season. One thing you can say about Clayton, Larry, is that you never really had any hiccups with them. They were there every week, came to play 90 minutes. Like we said, didn't really have a strong season, but heart is really what they displayed. And I'm looking forward to seeing what they bring to the table in 2023.
Yeah, that was unfortunate as it could be. It was one of those times when you knew coming into the season that they really just didn't have the roster that they needed to make a good run, and hopefully let's see something good here in the spring season.
Jorge Valdivinos needs to be careful with this press early on here by FC Atl Academy. Jimmy Lee Noel trying to flick it out to his right side. Unable to keep it in bounds. Atl Rovers throw in FC Atlanta right in the middle of the field. Wind's picking up just a little bit, making for a cool breeze. Valdivinos drops it to his feet, right down to the feet of McConan Clare, who opts back to the goalkeeper, who looks up, takes a couple of touches. He's going to figure it out. Plays out to the right side to Sebastian Lopez. He takes a touch. He is pressured by Leon Gonzalez.
And to piggyback off of what you were saying, Drew, just a little bit ago, LGSA, they were the Spring Regional Cup champions. Both they had in the finals both their Division I team and their Premier team, so they went out in the spring on top. We'll see what they can do here in this spring.
Always come to play. I received the lineup from their representatives earlier today, and let's just say they're going to come in strong early on here as Rocamora runs it down in the corner. Drops it back to Anawin Boonprasert. They call him Win. He is from Pathum Thani, Thailand, went to Middle Georgia University. Going to look to earn his spot here with the Rovers this season. Nice little 1-2 here down the right side for FC Atlanta. Martin Ramirez brings it inside the 18. Shot on goal. Bounces off the arms of Jorge Valdivinos right back to the feet of FC Atl Academy. Shot on goal. Nice sliding attempt there by Jacob Harden, the Harrison High School native, with a beautiful slide tackle, preventing a shot on goal by FC Atl Academy. Fast sequence of events just then, Larry.
And we'll take a quick look at it if we can. You see this ball coming forward. Able to get it out to the wing. He's able to get past the defender. Great little shot. Had to drop fast to the mat. Was the keeper able to pull that save off?
You have to forgive my partner. He's been watching a little bit too much wrestling when he says down to the mat. He meant down on the field. Look at him. His Chiefs made it to the Super Bowl, so he's all sorts of flustered right now. So we'll forgive him right now. Don't worry about it.
It's too much action going on in this brain. We've had 2 great matches so far.
Valdivinos lines up for a Rovers goal kick. .50-50 ball. One in the air by FC Atlanta, who put it back to the feet of Jacob Harden for the Rovers, who was quickly shut down by FC Atlanta. And the ball is won back by Abale Diop. Boone Persert being cautious, being safe, puts it back to the hands of Valdivinos. Jorge Valdivinos has had a lot of work so far today. The Rovers goalkeeper went to Emmanuel College. Valdivinos plays alongside Cameron Verona, another wonderful goalkeeper here in the UPSL Georgia Premier Division. Just like FC Birmingham, there's going to be a battle for the #1 goalkeeper spot for the Rovers this season, Larry.
And that's one of the things about Atlanta Rovers. Rovers have, and we saw in the fall, their keeper had some amazing saves throughout that fall 2022 season. He's going to have you like to see where keepers have to fight for that position.
Far post attended, it just stays wide right of the post as the goalkeeper, Euler Salas, kind of lost it in the air. Still won a goal kick for FC Atlanta. Augusto Del Rio with the far post shot attempt. As mentioned before, he is a former Potros player, so plenty of UPSL experience for Augusto. Goal kick taken quickly by Salas, pushes it out to the right side for FC Atlanta. Manuel Montagut pushes it through. Sepúlveda was dispossessed by Rovers, who stopped right in the middle of the play, did Gregorio Rocamora. Wanted a foul, referee disagreed. Coming down the right side is Super Martin. Ramirez puts it across the 18. He's got a wide open Diop at the back post, unable to find him. Lucky for Rovers, they're able to get a clearance. Foul on FC Atl Academy. Jair Lopez Figueroa goes down, gets up quickly for Rovers as Captain McConan Clare takes a quick free kick, drops it back to Valdivinos. Valdivinos has loads of space in front of him, can pick and choose what it is he wants to do. He opts for a long ball out to the right wing. Able to keep it inbounds was the Rover player. Unable to keep it inbounds was the FC Atl Academy player. It would be a throw-in for Rovers right at half field.
And the Rovers player falling over the American football communication array right there. One of the downsides of having to deal with these multi-purpose facilities.
If you're just now joining us today, you can check out our YouTube channel on demand. Club The Strongest defeated Atlanta City FC 4-2. A brace by Darius Jaya, a goal by Steve Ramirez and Kevin Odokore. And Joel Musace had himself a brace for Atlanta City. Club The Strongest. Los Tigres earned the points. Shout out to everyone in La Paz, Bolivia. I know they're looking forward to another season here in the UPSL Georgia Premier Division. Talking about close call, Club The Strongest missed out on the playoffs themselves by goal differential. So you know they're extremely hungry to get this regular season started, Larry. Nice battle in the midfield, won by Rovers. Here comes Lopez Figueroa. Nice move inside the 18. Shot on goal. Great save by Euler Salas as that ball was coming right at his chin. He was able to get down, get a couple fists on it, force it out, and FC Atl Academy have won themselves a free kick First real opportunity of the game for Atlanta Rovers FC, and a beautiful save by FC Atl Academy goalkeeper Euler Salas to keep the score tied at 0.
And Drew, if there's something I can say about Club the Strongest, you know, they kind of stumbled late in the season, lost to Atlanta United's Academy in a way that almost looked like they were afraid in that match. One of the things to note wasn't really brought up in the broadcast of that match against Atlanta City today. I was really surprised to see that Mauricio Cross, who was the C's United captain, is now on the roster of Club the Strongest Los Tigres. Another big name, and you brought his name up, Steve Ramirez, a great player that I've known for a very long time, had the assist for the first goal, scored the second goal.
Through ball attempt, Larry. I don't want to cut you off. In behind the defense, Jimmy Lee Noel, shot on goal. Nice save once again by Euler Salas, keeping Jimmy Noel off the board. The Haitian was able to get in behind the defense of FC Atl Academy, and another save by Euler Salas to keep the score tied at 0. Corner, Atlanta Rovers FC.
And we'll take a look at this replay. You can see here, Rovers get a break, great ball through, gets past both defenders. Great save by the keeper, had to get down with his hand to make that save. Great opportunity for the Rovers here in the first 20 minutes.
Jimmy Lee Noel, the Hartwick College graduate, the 2021 Empire 8 all-second team member, and we saw why. Unable to put the ball in the back of the net, but you see that pace and that tenacity to get the ball on goal. Corner kick goes to the far post for Rovers. Shot on goal attempt. Sails wide left. It'll be another goal kick for FC Atl Academy. And it's been all Rovers the last 2 minutes, Larry. I look to see them maybe find the back of the net here in the next 2 or 3 chances. They look a little hungry. They look a little bit more composed than they have in the first 20 minutes of the game. They're about 1 or 2 plays away from a 1-0 lead.
And this is very good for Atlanta Rovers because exactly what you were saying, a lot of the big names that we knew from the 2022 fall season, they're sitting on the bench right now. A lot of these guys that are on the pitch weren't really the stars of the last season. So there are a lot of faces getting a look at for the first time for Atlanta Rovers.
FC Atl Academy hanging strong with the big dogs. 22 minutes in, score is still 0-0, live from Southern Crescent Stadium in Riverdale, Georgia. Atlanta Rovers FC taking on FC Atl Academy in the first round of the Georgia Regional Cup. This matchup is streaming live on the Atlantic Soccer Media Group YouTube channel. Throw-in down the line for Atlanta. Cleared away. Another throw-in for FC Atlanta. This was going to be right in front of their bench once again. Throw will be taken by Manuel Montagut. He's had a plethora of throws already here in the first 22 minutes. He's got Diop and Ramirez. He tries to find the feet of Abale Diop. Unsuccessful as it goes off the feet of Diop. Throw in Rovers. Throw will be taken by Boone Presert. He's got Claire behind him. Jair Figueroa check 2. Brought a couple defenders with him. Nice awareness by the midfielder. Here comes Jacob Harden. The Kentucky Christian University player's got 2 blue shirts in front, and he is dispossessed. And the ball's going to be nipped out of bounds by Harden. He was dispossessed by number 18, Mauro Morales. They call him El Pibe. And we have a Rovers player down right in front of this FC Atl Academy bench. And as the trainer checks on him, the official's going to walk over, see if everything's okay.
And a yellow card issued to the FC Atlanta player.
Foul's going to be on Gregorio Rocamora. He is up on his feet.
And Drew, I want to take a moment to give a little shout out to the Potros man of the hour, Christopher Uronga. He's watching at home this match, watching some of his guys play. Shout out to Christopher with everything that he's done here in the UPSL with Potros FC.
Free kick, Rovers. McConan clear. Lenore Rhine University player drops it back to Valdivinos. He's got loads of space in front. He's got Lopez out to his right, Claire out on his left. And running hard in that midfield, trying to find some space for himself is Augusto Del Rio. Del Rio on the ball. Nice pressure here by Diop. Forces a off-balance clearance by Valdivinos. Pressured by William Delgado, the captain of FC Atl Academy. Long shot attempt. Sails over the bar. It'll be a goal kick for Rovers, who need to calm down a little bit. They themselves haven't been able to break down this press by FC Atl Academy, who are pressing in spurts. Coach needs to tell them, if you're going to press, continue to press because we're really good at it. Rovers have been unable to capitalize off the press. They have won the goal kick back for themselves, but FC Atl Academy not making it easy. Number 21 in the middle of the pitch. Abale Diop pressing real hard up the center here for FC Atl Academy. Making Augusto Del Rio work hard in the midfield.
But Drew, one of the things I'm seeing, what we talk about a lot, you see the Rovers wingers all the way over on the chalk line, ready to receive this ball.
You see what he was trying to do, Harden. He had two men running through, Rocamora and Boone Prasert. He just put a little bit too much behind it. Forces an easy save for Euler Salas, who's got a regrettable punt from the top of his own 18. Luckily, his men were there to pick up his pieces. Speaking of picking up the pieces, here comes Nazario Mbomio. Pushes it out to the right side to Jimmy Lee Noel. Noel. Gonna be a corner for Rovers. Noel was defended by Andres Avendandano. Forces a corner for the home team. Noel is going to take this corner. It'll be a right foot out swinging corner here for the Rovers. 26th minute, 0-0. Nice corner, short corner to the feet of Sebastian Lopez, who's pressed once again by Diop. Jimmy Noel puts a cross in at the back post, but it sails over the bar. It'll be another goal kick for FC Atl Academy. A lot of opportunities squandered away by the defending champs so far this afternoon. They're going to have some conversations at halftime. New coach for Atlanta Rovers FC, Nicholas Gonzalez Perez, looking to make a mark early. It is the Regional Cup, but every win counts. I spoke to team manager Ayuba Louie a few days ago, who's out of the country. He's very excited about the start of the season and very excited about the defending of his Regional Cup crown. Had nothing but good things to say about Nicholas. And you got to say, Larry, first game at the helm, and you've got the leading goal scorer on the bench. You got to love him already.
That's what I was saying. You know, right now they're looking really good against FC Atl Academy, and they haven't got their full, strong staff out there. So I think Atlanta Rovers are playing a little bit of possum right now.
Again, you got to love it.
And, Drew, I want to give you a little heads up. We do have the fall national finals going on later. Right now, the third place match is going on. Currently, Santa Cruz FC is beating Rush ACM 3-0 with 85 minutes played.
Last game Rush played, they were in a 9-goal thriller. So to hear them have a goose egg so far, my mouth dropped a little bit. Here come the Rovers. Boone Preserve puts it to the back post. A little too heavy. Can Jimmy Noel keep it in? He does. He's going to be shut down by Avin Dodano. Cross comes in. Headed away by Morales. Diop unable to keep control. Nice little through ball here by Del Rio. Trying to find Jacob Harden. Unsuccessful. Ball's at the feet of Leon Gonzalez. Nice strip right at the top of the 18 by Mbomio. He's forced wide. Mbomio still in possession. Puts it to the top of the 18, and nobody is there. Only person there is number 19 for FC Atl Academy, El Suplavera. Clears it away up the left side. Throw in. Rovers can be taken by Sebastian Lopez, who drops it back. Big switch over to the left side, looking for Boone Preserve, who is going to be offside. Nice vision by the linesman, who says he came back from an offside position and was the first to touch it. Free kick, FC Atlanta. Big clearance headed down by McConan Clare. Jair Lopez able to keep it inbounds, drops it all the way back. Go ahead,
I was
Larry.
going to say, Drew, you know, for us in the national finals that are going to be here in just a couple hours, we're a bit of homers. We're really rooting on South Carolina United Heat being the Southeast region champions. We want to see them bring home that national crown. You know, we talked about it. They played Santa Cruz Friday. Santa Cruz hadn't played since December. And we were like, could they be able to maintain? And they showed that they could not.
They couldn't, but it was a 1-0 win. Both teams fought the entire match. And Alejandro Benaji with the only goal for South Carolina Heat. And it's really interesting to mention, we called 3 games of theirs the last couple of months, all of their national games and a U.S. Open Cup match of theirs. And he wasn't there. He wasn't there. NAIA Player of the Year in 2021. He scored about 24 goals. And he wasn't there for South Carolina Heat United, so it's very nice to have him back. We called the game against Beeman. He was a little rusty. But he cleaned that rust off and was able to bring his boys to glory.
When they played Little Haiti.
Yes, you know, I apologize.
He just didn't really – he was there, but he just didn't have to finish that final set.
Ball's put at the back post. Headed down right at the 6, looking for Jacob Harden. Cleared away right off the 6-yard box by FC Atl Academy. And they won themselves a goal kick. Very dangerous playing here for Rovers. Still unable to find the back of the net. Score remains 0-0. UPSL Georgia is being watched all over the world. We've got people watching from Morocco right now and Bolivia, so shout out to all the different cultures around the world who are enjoying the UPSL, not just the UPSL Georgia, but the entire UPSL as a whole. It's very exciting, the growth that this league is just taking on all newcomers, team after team after team. It's very exciting.
And shout out to Alub. You got to say it's getting close to bedtime there in Morocco, but he's staying up late to watch his boys take on FC Atl Academy here.
Throw in once again for FC Atlanta right down the line. Unable to keep it in bounds was Montagut, looking for Ramirez. Throw in taken by McConan Clare, drops it back to the goalkeeper, who puts it to the feet of Augusto Del Rio immediately. And Del Rio pushes it out wide right to Ryan Paolucci. Atlanta Rovers FC playing with the back 3 very confidently, as that middle 5 has about 20 yards of space between that back 3. Jimmy Lee Noel finds Sebastian Lopez. Lopez not going to force anything, as Noel wanted a 1-2 pass, but he was very well defended by FC Atl Academy. Sebastian Lopez once again, lots of space in front of him. Nice move by Sebastian Lopez, who cuts it on the inside. Long shot attempt deflected off FC Atlanta into the air. Headed away by FC Atl Academy. Right back down to the feet of Jacob Harden, who's pressed immediately by William Delgado, captain of FC Atlanta. Andres Avadadano comes in with a great slide tackle on Jacob Harden, forcing a Rovers throw in. Noel's going to drop it, leave it for Sebastian Lopez. We are in the 34th minute. Live from Southern Crescent Stadium in Riverdale, Georgia. Atlanta Rovers FC taking on FC Atl Academy in the first round of the UPSL Georgia Spring Regional Cup. Big throw in by Sebastian Lopez, who throws it right on top of the 6-yard line, headed away by FC Atlanta. Bouncing on the top of the 18, finally able to get a clearance was FC Atlanta, but it goes right back to the feet of Ryan Paolucci. Paolucci takes a touch, pushes out to the left side for McCone Claire. The captain takes a touch, looks up, plays it to the far post. Euler Salas confidently comes off his line and collects it out of the air. Looking for an on-running Nazario Mbomio for Rovers. Headed out by Boone Presert, throw in FC Atlanta. Lots of action here in the first half. Both teams just unable to capitalize on their offensive opportunities. Great goalkeeping, great defending. And you got to wonder, you see Alejandro Rodriguez warming up. You see some conversion over here on the sideline between Nicholas and Manuel Carrillo. We're going to have some substitutions at halftime. Maybe this thing will get exciting. Maybe we'll get some goals. Able to keep it in bounds was Atlanta Rovers FC. Jair Lopez cleared away by FC Atlanta. Another throw in here for Sebastian Lopez. Let's see if he'll give us another one of those long throws.
And Drew, just a note, we are following UPSL rules and procedures. So even though this is quote unquote a friendly tournament, they still have only 7 substitutes per game. So we'll see what the Atlanta Rovers and also the FC Atlanta squad. You can see definitely though the FC Atlanta squad isn't as depth as Atlanta Rovers is.
No, FC Atl Academy is you're talking about depth. They're the final platform of the Vinotinto Academy FC soccer project. So lots of kids coming through that Vinotinto Academy soccer project trying to make their way onto this FC Atlanta Academy team. And, so far so good, Larry. So they have a lot to be excited about entering their second season here in the UPSL.
And Vinotinto did really well last year in the Premier, where they took down
You're talking about the UPSL Premier powerhouse, Vinotinto. That's right. I don't think we're going to see them this season, are we?
We will see them this spring season.
That's good for the league because the competition just got a little bit better. They were able to sneak in the playoffs last season, Vinotinto, with goal differential advantage over Club the Strongest, who we just have nothing but great things to say about.
And they caught FC Birmingham off guard in that first round. That's where I was going.
Yep.
They caught them off guard, ended up taking and ruining Coach Goldfarb's chances to really make his way through the playoffs.
Talk about a team that just took their foot off the gas in the latter part of the season. Really excited to see FC Birmingham come back out and show the division that they do belong at the top, because I really truly believe that they do.
And just to have a keeper like Cosmos Azuru, who just put on a clinic at times through the fall season.
Larry,
if anybody has an opportunity to go back and watch our matches that we covered for FC Birmingham, just some unbelievable work there by Cosmos.
Lots of time and lots of space in the midfield here for Jacob Harden. Jimmy Noel looks up, plays it far post, looking for Rocamora. Mbomio able to maintain possession, finds Noel to his right side. Jimmy Lee Noel hits the side netting on the right side of the goal. Goal kick for FC Atl Academy. Jimmy Lee Noel is going to want that one back. He had the goal mouth right in front, tried to go near post, ends up hitting the side netting. Still 0-0. Short goal kick once again for FC Atlanta. We're pushing it up the middle of the pitch, looking for a Diop. Header in the air, won by Paolucci. Del Rio. Nice little bit of hesitation. Switches it over to the left side for Jair Lopez Figueroa. Jair cuts it back on the inside. Plays it across, right to the feet of Sebastian Lopez. Great vision by the midfielder, Lopez. Sebastian Lopez tried to cross it far post. Ended up putting a little bit too much gas behind it. Goes out near post. Goal kick, FC Atl Academy.
And we'll look at that last one that happened before that shot on goal, where it really had an opportunity. You see here, moves the ball to the right-hand side, wide open, takes a shot, and it just deflects and goes out.
What do you think, Larry? One time, Jimmy Lee Noel should have hit that one touch. Yeah.
And that's one of the things that we see, as these players are developing. One of the things that a lot of players, especially strikers, need to work on that first touch, get a little bit selfish and want to take that shot on your own.
Noel trying to bring it down to his feet off of his chest, ends up putting it out of bounds. It's going to be a throw-in for FC Atl Academy. You wonder if that's just a case, I'm off. Maybe it's his first game back too.
You have to remember, these guys have not played since December. So they've had about 6 weeks or so of not playing a competitive match. So they might just be a few steps off.
Boone Purcert puts it up through for Gregorio Rocamora. Rocamora finds Wynn once again. Nice bit of 1-2s here on the left side. Wynn puts it to the far post. Ombomio! Flag goes up. Offside anyways. Referee says play on. Nice goal. Nice punt, by Euler Salas. Him and Diop are just a bit off the same page there. Here come Rovers once again. Harden pushes it out to the right side for Lopez. Lopez is being closed down by Delgado. Lopez goes for a switch. Just a bit too heavy. Had Lopez and he had Boone Purcert out here on the left side. Throw in FC Atlanta. Montagut on the throw once again. Plays it square to the captain Delgado. They call him Paulinho. Dispossessed by Rovers. Rovers in possession. Augusto Del Rio. Sebastian Lopez slows it down. Brings it back to Ryan Paolucci. Another Potros player on the field today. Former Potros player, Del Rio finds the feet of Lopez Figueroa. Nice battle in the midfield with Lopez. Looping it over the top, trying to find Rocamora. Rocamora brings it down to his feet, goes for a one-touch play right across the middle, deflects off of Mauro Morales right to the arms of Euler Salas, goalkeeper for FC Atl Academy. Runs up to the top of the 18, gets another beautiful, accurate punt. Conan Clara just able to step in front of that at the nick of time, trying to find the feet of Martin Ramirez was Salas. Forcing a throw-in for FC Atl Academy. It's going to be taken once again by Manuel Montagut, this time right at half field. Got about 3 minutes plus stoppage time remaining in this goalless first half. Nice bit of skill there by Ale Sepulvera. Dispossessed by Rovers. They get a big clearance. Ball's knocked up in the air by Ramon Sanz. Brought down by Jimmy Lee Noel, who's immediately dispossessed by Leon Gonzalez. Gonzalez shaking and baking through that back line of Atlanta Rovers FC. Gonzalez beaten to the ball just in the nick of time by Jorge Valdivinos. Conan Clare plays up the left side. Boone Purcert deflected off of Montagut. Throw in Rovers. Not much movement right now by Rovers. Looked like a foul throw on Boone Purcert, but I digress. Valdivinos plays it out to the right side for Ryan Paolucci. Lots of time, lots of space in the midfield here for Augusto Del Rio. Finds Jair Lopez Figueroa. Nice ball by Lopez Figueroa. Finds a wide open Boone Purcert, but nice defensive recovery by Manuel Montagut. And the official calls for a corner. It's going to deflect off of Montagut. Rovers have won themselves a lucky corner here in the latter part of this first half. Let's see if they can capitalize. Jimmy
And
Lee.
Drew, to give you an update, what felt like about 20 minutes of stoppage time, Santa Cruz FC step away with a third-place national title. They beat Rush ACM3 3-0, take away that third-place spot.
It's an in-swinger by Noel. Nipped off the back of FC Atlanta Academy. It's going to be another throw-in deep in the defensive third here for Rovers. Sebastian Lopez is going to take the throw, so look for another long throw-in for from the right midfielder. He's got a beautiful long throw. It's going to rifle directly into the 6. Lots of white shirts inside. It's bouncing. Wakona Claire. Big clearance by FC Atlanta Academy. Battle by Diop and Lopez Figueroa, won by Diop. Playing up the right side is Ramirez. Running on to it was number 18, Mauro Morales. Clearing away for Rovers, deflects off Morales, and Rovers win a throw-in. Unlucky for FC Atlanta. Del Rio being closed down by Ramirez. Forced to play back to the goalkeeper. Aldovinos opts for the feet of Ryan Paolucci. Closed down by Leon Gonzalez. They call him Maravilla. And that is going to do it for the first half of action here at Southern Crescent Stadium between Atlanta Rovers FC and FC Atlanta Academy. Both teams, lots and lots of opportunities here, Larry, unable to find the back of the net. Score remains tied at 0. It's going to be a lot of conversations at halftime for FC Atlanta Academy because I know that they know that the firepower from the Rovers bench is going to come off the bench and enter the game here in the second half. What do you think they're thinking right now?
Right now, I think FC Atlanta has got to feel really good about how they got out of this first half, 0-0. They had moments of positive attack. They're able to hold off Atlanta Rovers really, really well. Atlanta Rovers really haven't had too many positive chances on goal. I'd say maybe 2, 3 at tops, Drew. So for FC Atlanta Academy being a Division I team, you have to feel good about where you stand against a team like Atlanta Rovers, but you got to know deep down that you've only scratched the surface and that this Atlanta Rovers team is going to come out way more powerful here in this second half.
Atlanta Rovers FC, FC Atlanta Academy, tied at 0, headed into the locker rooms. We'll be back after this short break. Welcome back to Southern Crescent Stadium here in beautiful Riverdale, Georgia. Not too far from the Atlanta airport. So if you see the planes flying over, you hear the planes flying over, that's why. Starting the second half of action, the score remains tied at 0 between FC Atl Academy and the defending champs, Atl Rovers FC. And if you're watching at home for the first time, checking in to the game is the leading goal scorer for Atl Rovers FC, Alejandro Rodriguez. Also checking into the game, superstar midfielder Sebastian Montero. Number 19, Chris Derone. They call him Aguero. Checking in for Rovers. And number 18, Manuel Carrillo. Checking in for the Rovers. Folks, if you're just now tuning in, get your popcorn ready. This thing could get exciting as we are underway here in the second half. Atl Rovers FC going left to right in their white tops, and FC Atl Academy going from left to right in those navy blue tops. Immediately, Jimmy Noel on the counterattack here for Rovers. Puts it across the middle, looking for Rodriguez. Nicely defended by FC Atl Academy. If this is your first time watching Atl Rovers FC, check out the motor on number 7, Alejandro Rodriguez, one of the hardest working center forwards in the league. Went down with an unfortunate injury early part of the fall season. Finished the regular season with 6 goals. Larry, he could have been in the double digits with ease and arguably could have ran away with that golden boot if he hadn't gotten injured.
Yeah, the golden boot race in the fall premier season was really, really weird because, you know, the last few seasons we've been spoiled with these double-digit numbers, and then unfortunately Alejandro going down injured. You saw those numbers really low. Jose Villanueva from FC Birmingham stepped away with the title. We saw some unbelievable goals by Lupe. You're actually going to see on the Atlanta Soccer Media social media, to see a little highlight reel of some of Lupe's goals that were just amazing throughout the fall season.
Storming to the inside was number 19, Chris Derone, just unable to maintain possession, and he is going to commit a foul on number 5, Ramon Sanz, who remains down on the field for FC Atl Academy. He's pounding the turf, Larry. Doesn't look good. Let's hope he's going to be okay. You know, we mentioned we've got lots of viewers from all different countries across the world. We've also got them from all heights, as we have Mr. Keelan Green watching from 35,000 feet above. Thank you for viewing, sir. We appreciate that.
He had some amazing
I was
games.
just about to say that. Talk about a top goalkeeper.
You know, some of his specialties and abilities were highlighted in some of our promo packages for the spring season.
You could not put him in. I couldn't agree more, partner. In possession is Carrillo, or Carrillo. My apologies. It's going to be offside on Rovers. Looks like that's going to be offside on Chris Derone. Second half substitution. They're getting a little excited, are the Rovers. You know, you have to playing in the UPSL, Georgia. So I think his project has been a success, I would say.
Yeah, it's one of those things that you love to see here at this level of soccer development in the nation. You love to see those groups that are working hard to develop players for the next level and for their potential to be professional players. And that you love to see it. You know, I mean, we do have the UPSL. We have over 400 teams in the league. You know, and some of those teams, they're only going to be you know, very small groups. Maybe you could consider them just tournament teams, but you love to see those organizations that are going above and beyond to that next step to develop players, to see them turn into professionals.
Speaking of turn into professionals, Kofi Tumasi, Tony Tiente, and Karim Tamimi, Kalungi Pro profile proteges, all playing with Atlanta United. Karim and Kofi playing with the second team, and Tony is with the first team in Mexico training and looked like he's going to get some first team minutes, so very exciting. So the UPSL may be the fourth tier professional division here in the USSF, but make no mistake about it. The players are hungry, they're talented, and they're looking to be developed, and they want to get onto that next level. And Kalungi Pro Profile, who you will see back in the UPSL spring season, they're one of the best at it. Nice ball by Rodriguez, trying to find Carrillo, who snuck in behind the defense, but he's just going to be a little bit offside. Nice vision once again by the officiating crew. It's going to be a free kick for FC Atlanta Academy once again inside their own 18, right outside the 18, I apologize, as Atlanta Rovers FC are looking to put one on the board here in the early parts of this second half. But fortunate for FC Atlanta Academy, the score remains tied at 0.
And Drew, one of the things that we were talking about earlier off camera is here in the UPSL, it's not just about developing players, it's also developing coaches and staff, because you look at the coach of Atlanta United's academy, Jose Silva, has now been promoted to the Atlanta United 2 team.
Coach of the Year in the fall 2022 UPSL Georgia season, and always on the outside looking in as far as winning the division, and finally broke the mold and got that division title.
And look at what he did. Immediately went out and got those guys, Tamimi, Tumasi.
We'll just call him Kofi.
Kofi. And then think about some of the other guys that were already there, Tony Tiente. And
I didn't even think about that. That's really, really cool to mention. He saw the talent that the UPSL Premier Division has, and he went and poached himself. Great vision by Coach Jose. It's going to be a throw in here for Atlanta. Andres Avendadano throws it. 50-50 ball knocked up in the air. Battle there by Paolucci and Captain William Delgado. Paolucci drops it back to his goalkeeper, Valdivinos, the North Cobb High School graduate. Plays it up through the middle. The ball finds the feet of Paolucci once again. Nice movement in the midfield by Sebastian Montero, trying to make himself available. As mentioned before, Sebastian is a national title winner with now sold club Atletico Atlanta in the early parts of the UPSL Georgia Premier Division. Just the dominant force along with Kalungi Pro Profile. Now welcoming another dominant force, LGSA Lamino, Atlanta United Academy. Here comes Atlanta Rovers FC, FC Birmingham. The UPSL Georgia Premier Division is only getting stronger. Nice ball, trying to go far post was Carrillo, looking for an on-running Daron. Nice goalkeeping once again by Euler Salas.
And Drew, we were just talking about the groups these organizations that are within the UPSL. You look at a group there like what was Jenga, then Atlanta Atletico Atlanta. They became a part. They moved up north. Their coach that was with us here, Coach Joao, he goes to Boston City FC. Boston City FC just opened up their brand new facility for development up there in Boston. So another great little group. Watch out for them in the national level here in the next few seasons.
Nice defending by Rovers. Number 5, Josh Francombe, making it very difficult for Atlanta Academy to find some space, pick the pockets, if you will, on that far side of the field. Atlanta Rovers FC very, very stout defensively. Looks like Rovers are going to have some movement over here on the sidelines as Chris Ramos is up off the bench, getting some instructions from the coaching staff. He's going to check in here momentarily. Shoulder to shoulder over on the far side. Referee says play on as the Rovers win themselves a goal kick. FC Atlanta Academy have some movement on the bench as well. And the substitution is going to be for Jimmy Lee Noel. The Hartwick College grad steps off for Chris Ramos, who sees his first minutes here in the Regional Cup.
And some of the stats for you, Drew, something that we talk about, we love to talk about our stats. When we look at the fall season, Atlanta Rovers only scored 21 goals for the season. FC Atl Academy scored 19. So very, very similar in goal scoring were these two teams back in the fall.
Nice playing with the ball at his feet is Leon Gonzalez, but it will be a foul. Free kick for Rovers. Montero goes down, but he gets up quick, shakes it off. They cannot afford to have an injury to Sebastian Montero, and the injury luck for Rovers is a lot worse than it really would seem. Like we said at the beginning of the broadcast, Luke Sexton goes down, Alejandro Rodriguez goes down, but somehow, some way, the pieces were able to be picked up and they were able to qualify for the playoffs. Here we are, beginning of a brand new season. They look to be 100% healthy. They're looking to defend this Regional Cup crown, and albeit they're going to be looking to get through in the playoffs if they make it this season. Throw in Rovers. Substitution here for FC Atlanta. Luis Chirinos is going to come off the bench. He is a center forward, so he will be coming on in an attacking role.
Replacing number 19 is
Ale Sepu Lavera will be stepping off. Throw in on the far side of the field for Rovers. Trying to find Josh Francombe in the middle of the field. Deflected off FC Atlanta. Going to be a throw in once again for Rovers. Nice run to the inline. Trying to find the far post. Unsuccessful once again for Rovers. It'll be a throw in, or I apologize, goal kick for FC Atl Academy. We're in the 58th minute. The score is tied 0-0. 2023 UPSL Georgia Regional Cup first round action. Atlanta Rovers FC taking on FC Atl Academy. We are broadcasting live from beautiful Southern Crescent Stadium in Riverdale, Georgia. I am Drew Dickinson alongside Larry Weaver. We have had quite a fascinating game so far. Both teams with a plethora of chances, unable to capitalize. As I said before, the score is notched at 0. More movement over on the Rovers bench. Or we could just see some players getting warm as the temperature is dropping. Ramos unable to keep it in bounds.
And Drew, it may be nothing, but just something to take note that I've noticed. You notice in that goal kick that just happened, the FC Atlanta goalkeeper did not take that goal kick. It was the defender that took that kick.
Let's just keep an eye on that. If that might be a problem that lingers throughout the game, maybe an injury or just maybe not confident in the goal kicks. Nice ball, looping it across the middle. Bobbling it was Valdivinos. Flag goes up, but immediately goes down as they say play on. Scary moments there from Atlanta Rovers FC as Atlanta Academy had two men wide open at the back post, unable to capitalize once again. Score still remains at 0. Boone Persert trying to go down the left wing here. On running was number 19, Chris Derone, second half substitution, trying to make some noise. And here comes number 2, veteran Rennie Matthews off the bench here for Atlanta Rovers FC. Coach Nico is not going to hold anything back. Wants to try and secure the points. As we stated a few times in the broadcast, Atlanta Rovers FC are the Regional Cup defending champs. Nice move, cutting on the inside by Derone. But another great defensive display by Atlanta Rovers FC. Or I apologize, FC Atlanta Academy. Not making things easy for the home team. The substitution is going to happen. And here comes Boone Persert. He will take a seat. Nice first 60-minute display by Anowin Boonprasert, the Thailand native, trying to earn himself some permanent minutes in this spring season. Could be a free kick for FC Atl Academy. Pushing it up that right side, a little bit too heavy. Throw in Rovers.
And Drew, just like we were talking about just a few weeks ago when we were bringing that national match, you know, these are 28 weeks of seasonal soccer. You got to be able to handle the long haul for a team. You got to be able to, that's a lot of games and a lot of work. You got to have the squad to be able to maintain for 20 to 25 weeks.
Paolucci playing out to the right side. Second half substitution, Chris Ramos. Nice 1-2 with Montero. And it looks like Rovers have won themselves a corner. No! Assistant referee disagrees. Goal kick, FC Atl Academy. Nice battle in the corner there between the two players. FC Atl Academy coming out on top. Montero and Ramos trying to make some noise here for Atlanta Rovers. Both second half substitutions trying to make their mark early in this regional cup. Foul will be committed on Rovers, who are going to take the free kick quickly. Paolucci's going to bring it back to Valdivinos as they reset. Valdivinos has Paolucci to his right, opts for a pass right up the middle to Francoma, pushes it out to the right side to Ramos. Ramos immediately drops it back to Paolucci, who finds and resets with Valdivinos once again. Sloppy pass by the goalkeeper, puts it right to the feet of Martin Ramirez. Ramirez puts it right back into the arms of the goalkeeper, trying to go far post, or it could have been a shot, either or. Nice save by Valdivinos. Diop on the press once again for FC Atlanta, wins a throw-in. We said in the first half, Larry, when FC Atlanta press, Rovers are unable to capitalize off the press. They should do it a little bit more often.
Yeah, and that time right there, I have to say a bit of a mistake by the keeper, electing to play that short instead of just playing that long. He had two attacking players from FC Atlanta, really didn't give his defenders a lot of opportunities to move the ball forward.
Manuel Montagut with another throw in here on the far side of the pitch. Diop's going to check two. He will bring Francombe with him, create some more space inside the 18. Headed away by Rovers. 50 ball in the air, won by FC Atlanta. Long shot attempt, but it goes well over both crossbars. And another goal kick here for Atlanta Rovers FC. A little bit more movement here on the FC Atlanta Academy bench. Number 10, Gustavo Altuve, up, warming up.
Drew, I think in that instance, I think the player was going back and reliving some of those old Atlanta Elephants matches on those 45-yard screamers.
Nice ball, finding a wide open McKinnon Clare from Valdivinos. Clare, long ball, bounces off of FC Atlanta, right back to the feet of Clare. Montero looks up and immediately dispossessed by Leon Gonzalez. Gonzalez takes the gloves off, rolls up the sleeves. It's time to get serious. Time's running out. Score remains at 0. Already have a win by Club the Strongest. Larry, who came out on top of that early forfeit? Who gets the points? Cochos?
Cochos does get the points on that one.
Okay.
So Cochos get the forfeit over Volpe. You know, we weren't sure what we were going to see with two new teams. Unfortunately, saw something that probably shouldn't have. And then with that match before us, we saw the Strongest really hang on to pull off a victory over Atlanta City.
Late comeback attempt by Atlanta City, but squandered by that fourth goal by Club the Strongest. A lot of new names on the field for Club the Strongest today. No Norman Carmona, no Cush Clark. You had the Solly vet back there, Sebastian Sandoval, anchoring the defense as usual. Nice to see JoJo on the sideline.
Yeah, I was going to say, no JoJo in goal. He was just on the sidelines. Hopefully it wasn't anything bad, no injuries or anything like that.
Paolucci finds Montero. Montero puts it out for Ramos, just a bit too heavy. Little sloppy in the latter minutes of this second half here for Atlanta Rovers FC. Not creating too many chances. They're being closed down very, very well in the midfield by FC Atlanta Academy. You'd like to see Montero and Del Rio spread it out a little bit. Francombe finds the feet of Lopez. Going to be fouled right in front of the official, who immediately pulls out a yellow card. And Francombe got a little too excited, took the free kick while the official still had the yellow card in the air. What do you think? 7-8 seconds in the air for the yellow card? I love the drama.
I think that was the under on that. That was more like 10-15.
Free kick for Rovers. Looks like Jair is going to be okay. He's limping a little bit. Rovers are in the danger zone. Lots of white shirts inside the 18. Ramos out here on the right side. And they do not go forward. They go back with Ryan Paolucci. Paolucci's going to loop it into the far post of the box. Chris Derone tried to bring it on the inside of the 18. Nice defense by Montagut. Dispossessed out on the right side by Chris Ramos. And he's going to put it back to Paolucci, who's almost dispossessed. Depossessed. Once again, want to give a shout out to the sponsor for today's matchup for FC Atlanta Academy, Soccer Locker. The best soccer store in town. The last call in soccer cleats and best jersey clubs and national team right off Pleasant Hill. Euler Salas with another comfortable save, pushes his men up the field.
And Drew, at the end of the day, for this regional cup, we are in preseason for the spring here in Atlanta. And one of the things to note for the spring is we're going to have some new faces that we've never seen before. In Division 1, we just had Volpe. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see them play. UMAFC is another team that's coming in Division 1. Soccer Saves Lives, which is a component
Rodriguez off the top of the crossbar. Ball's bouncing inside the 6, and picking up the pieces for a goal was Manuel Carrillo. Rovers go up 1-0. Alejandro Rodriguez with a beautiful header. Marching backwards on his heels, nipping it off the crossbar with a great save was Euler Salas. Picking up the pieces was Manuel Carrillo to put Rovers up 1-0.
This one just kind of came out of absolutely nowhere. The ball just lobbed up in, bounces off the top post, picks up the pieces and puts it in the back of the net for a goal for Atlanta Rovers.
And there was a substitution really quick for FC Atlanta Academy. Gustavo Altuve checks in for Abele Diop. Diop had a great first 68 minutes. He's going to get a rest. Looking for a far post runner, and Leon Gonzalez unsuccessful for FC Atlanta. Scooped up by Valdivinos, who rolls it out to the left side for Rennie Matthews. Puts it through to Jair. Jair puts it right back to Rennie, who has got to put it across the middle of the goal to his goalkeeper, Jorge, who finds a wide open Sebastian Montero, who receives and turns and is coming right up that right side of the field. Finds Chris Ramos, who's got some space in front. Closed down, tried to go far post, didn't get his hip swung around to the left far enough. Ball's going to sail wide right for another goal kick for FC Atlanta Academy, who are just hanging on. They need one more goal, just one goal to tie this thing. They've got it in them. Let's see if they can produce, Larry. They've got a goal kick. They haven't looked scared. I don't see any fear kicking in now.
And Rovers caught me napping there as I was pontificating about the spring season. They score that goal. We're talking about some of these new teams that were coming in. Now it's time, we coined this back in the fall season. It's time for FC Atlanta to hashtag response time. They need to find their way back into this match now that we're into the 70th minute. You don't want to get into that 80th, 85th minute down a goal, because then you're going to start getting desperate.
Beautiful defensive play by Atlanta Rovers, dispossessing Ivan Dandano, coming up the right side. Chris Ramos, Carrillo, the goal scorer in possession. He's just going to be offside. He knew it too, as he looks over just over his right shoulder at the assistant referee, as the flag went right up for another free kick for FC Atlanta Academy. That's what you like to see. Fast pace, nice quick 1-2s, catching the defensive opposition off guard. And just one thing, like to mention, Alejandro Rodriguez with a flick from his head from the top of the 18, almost donkey drops the goalkeeper. Beautiful save by Euler Salas. You've got a couple goalkeepers here in the booth if you're watching back home. What a save by Euler Salas, and just a little bit of a defensive meltdown for FC Atlanta Academy, allowing Manuel Carrillo to find some space in behind the defense and knock that one time in the back of the net. Just that one mistake can cost you the entire game. And like you said, Laird, they're in response time. Let's see how they continue to respond.
And that was one of the things that we were kind of talking about, because you look at Atlanta Rovers being a primarily Premier Division team and FC Atlanta Academy being more of a Division I team.
Here comes Alejandro Rodriguez. He's got Mervin Quintero in front of him. They call him King Taro, and you see why, as the King shuts down Rodriguez's first breakaway attempt. Beautiful defensive play by Mervin Quintero for FC Atlanta Academy. Haven't called his name one time today, and when he's called upon, he answered the bell, partner.
And that's one of the things, forwards and strikers, they get all the praise for all the goals, but the defenders, they've got to put in a hard shift back there, and they don't get enough praise at times for the work that they do.
No, they don't. And I'll tell you this, I've said it before at the beginning of this half, defending Alejandro Rodriguez in one half is going to be like defending a player for 90 minutes. The motor he has on him and just his will to find the back of the net is just, it's spectacular. But again, great defensive play by Mervin Quintero. Paolucci and Valdovinos knocking it back and forth in the box here for Rovers. They need to be careful. And lucky that Josh Francombe was fouled, because there are 4 blue shirts surrounding him. Another yellow card issued by the center official. And I just have to say that was a very lucky play by Rovers, because it could have been 1-1 within the last 10 seconds, Larry.
That easily could have been not called for a foul and could have been an opportunity for FC Atlanta to put one on goal. That just a little slow coming out of the back there from the Rovers.
Torrio with space, goes all the way back to the center back, Ryan Paolucci, who's had a lot of work to do today. He's anchored the defense, the veteran. He's always full of confidence. He's missing his tag team partner. Rennie Matthews and Josh Francombe are doing just fine with him back there right now. Captain William Delgado, dispossessed, knocked out, wins a throw-in for FC Atlanta Academy. We are in the 74th minute, live from Southern Crescent Stadium in Riverdale, Georgia.
We talked about in the fall for Atlanta Rovers, their defender, number 21. We love watching him play. He just has a play style that's very Rafael Varane style of defense. We really love to see him back there.
Yeah, you're talking about McKinnon Clare, the Lenore Ryan University player. McKinnon is one of the elder statesmen here in the league. He's in his mid-30s, but nonetheless holding it down. He is the captain for this Rovers club. And the Rovers are going to let it trickle over the goal line, and they are going to have another goal kick. As we just hit the 75th minute, they maintain a 1-0 lead over FC Atlanta Academy here in the first round of the UPSL Georgia Spring Regional Cup. The Rovers have showed up today to defend their crown, and so far so good. A little rusty. I know they're not going to be happy with their performance, but a win is a win, and so far they have the points And we've had all wins today. If things stand so far, we had a forfeit win in the opening game at noon, and Club the Strongest put it on Atlanta City 4-2. And right now, if you're just now joining us, Atl Rovers FC, the defending champs from the Summer 2022 Regional Cup, with a 1-0 lead over FC Atl Academy, who do have a sub up and Adam, Pierre Crescent, who is a left winger, so he's going to be coming on an attacking role here for FC Atl Academy. And here he comes. It looks like he's going to be checking in for number 14, Leanne Gonzalez. Far post attempt headed away by Rennie Matthews. Right back to the feet of Moro Morales. He's dispossessed by Rovers as Rodriguez one-times it, trying to find an on-running Manuel Carrillo, the only goal scorer of the contest so far. Rodriguez battling in the midfield, trying to win it back. Lots of players coming from an offside position for FC Atl Academy, so that play kind of blew up in their face unexpectedly as Paolucci is being closed down by Kaisen.
And Drew, it's these last 15 minutes that are the most important for me to watch this Atlanta Rovers team, because it was late in that match against LGSA where the mistakes happened and the own goals appeared.
More movement on this FC Atl Academy bench. They got some reserves getting warm. Going to try and come in and save the day. Nice midfield play here by Sebastian Montero. Just enough to knock the Atlanta player off his guard. And here they come. They're trying to put the second on the board. Beautiful defensive play once again by FC Atl Academy. Not making it easy. McCain and Claire on the left side. Defended by Montague. Ball's played into the far post. It's going to bounce all the way over to the far post, even further out here on the right side. Jair Lopez drops it back to Ramos. Ramos looks up, uses right foot, outswing to the far post. Rodriguez gets ahead on it. Just didn't get enough juice behind it. Easily into the arms of Euler Salos, who sprints up to the top of the 18, and he's upset. He wants his players to push up. Time's a wasting. They're down 1. Remember, a tie isn't really going to do much so far. We've had 2 wins so far today, so they need to start putting the pressure on this Rovers defense. Substitute is coming to the halfway line for FC Atl Academy. More reserves. Coach Ferrer is not messing around. He's using his subs wisely. Off goes Manuel Montague, who's played one hell of a game today. A lot of throw-in work, but a lot of stout defensive work as well, right back in the back there next to Mervin Quintero. I apologize. The player who just checked in isn't on our roster for the match day.
And Drew, you know, we talked about in the fall what was going to be the focus of the 2023 in our mind when it comes to the rules, and we talked about throw-ins were going to be what we felt was going to be a point of focus. And in the second match, the Strongest and FC Atlanta, there was a foot foul called on a throw-in. So already here in the spring, the refs are keeping an eye on that.
Headed away by Francombe. It's going to be a throw-in for FC Atl Academy deep in the defensive third of Atlanta Rovers FC. They haven't been here too often today. Time's a ticking, down 1. They need to find some magic. Referee stops play. Play's going to be put back in. Andresini, long throw, headed away by Francombe, bouncing inside the 18. Francombe gets another big clearance for the Rovers. It's going to be headed right back into the mixer here for FC Atl Academy, but another great defensive play by Rovers to force a throw-in for FC Atlanta right in front of this Rovers bench.
And Drew, you were talking about points. Rovers are a part of Group A, Club the Strongest already with 3 points. They need to be able to maintain with Los Tigres with those 3 points.
Alejandro Rodriguez with a great defensive play, wins the ball back, and he is churning and burning down this right side. Lots of white shirts on the far post. He tries to find one of the 3. Montero, Lopez, Augusto, Duron Unsuccessful. FC Atl Academy were there. Win the ball back.
Alejandro just didn't get the ball far enough forward in front of those defenders, and they were able to easily maintain that control.
Throw in once again. Square throw right to the feet of Francombe for the Rovers. Francombe pushes it out to the right side to a wide open Chris Ramos. Ramos trying to find Rodriguez. And the goal scorer, Carrillo, unsuccessful. The ball's bounced to the top of the 18, pushed out wide to Jair Lopez. Lopez drops it back to Francombe, who's got some space in the midfield. Pushes it out to the right side for Ryan Paolucci. Paolucci takes a few touches, looks up, finds the feet of Ramos. Ramos takes a touch, looks up, bends it far post. Off the hands of Salas, but he's able to bring the ball back into his hands. As there was some Rovers players lurking at the back post. Another great display of goalkeeping and an even better punt. Unfortunately for Academy, one in the air by Rovers. Back in possession here, Andresini for FC Atlanta. Finds Altuve. Altuve finds Morales. Morales tries to go far post here to the right side. Looking for William Delgado, the captain, unable to keep it in bounds. Throw in Rovers.
And Drew, you know, we were talking about some of the new teams that are coming into the league. We're not also talking about the teams that are not going to be in the league this spring. We've already kind of talked about Potros FC not being in the league. One of the teams that have been around, it just seems like forever, Seas United are not going to be in the spring season. And we already noted that they're in that strongest match. Mauricio Cross, Seas' captain, is now a part of the strongest Los Tigres squad.
Can you imagine Mauricio Cross, Norman Carmona, Cush Clark leading that line for Club the Strongest this season?
Well, we already saw, you know, Steve Ramirez, just, you know, a player that I can't say enough about. I've known him for many, many years. He is a fantastic winger, and you saw it in that match against Atlanta City. I think Los Tigres have a squad building right now that could definitely fight for the title here in the spring.
I know right now they're missing one of their key defenders, Stephen McIntosh, who is off in the professional indoor league with the Columbus Rapids. And he's not just down there. Stephen's playing. He's getting minutes. He's a crucial part of that Columbus Rapids team. But I know Los Tigres are going to be excited come the fall season when he comes back out and is going to try and finish in the top 3 this season. If they can stay composed in the latter portion of the season, they're a lock for the playoffs. Larry, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they kind of, Los Tigres, they stumbled at the end of the fall season, and at times they looked like they were just being bullied off of the pitch. And I really think that they have an opportunity. Like I said, they really could fight for the title. Another team that's not going to be in the division this season, not in the season this year, is going to be Georgia FC. They're not going to be in the spring season. So we have some really teams that have been
bringing it in the box. Daron and Atlanta Rovers! Sebastian Montero finds the back of the net and makes it 2-0. Chris Daron able to keep it in bounds, makes a nice move, maintains possession, and finds Sebastian Montero streaking into the middle of the 18, who puts it into the back of the net one time, and the Rovers take a 2-0 lead. And the reinforcements come in off the bench, make themselves known. 2-0 lead, Atlanta Rovers FC defending their crown early on. Here's a replay. Look at this move. One-time shot from Montero makes it 2-0. Salas went the right way, just unable to keep it out of the back of the net, and the Rovers go up 2-0. We are approaching the 85th minute. First round action here in the Regional Cup for the UPSL Georgia. And so far we've had 3 good games and hoping to make it 4 as Clayton International FC and LGSA are going to round out our 4th and final game today.
It's going to be a fantastic match. Those two teams, we really haven't had an opportunity. You know, Clayton is in the Division 1. You know, LGSA did have a Division I team, but we really haven't seen the Premier go up against, their top guys go up against Clayton International. Let's see what they have to offer.
And I have had the fortunate opportunity to have the roster and starting lineup for LGSA, and just let me tell you, they're coming to win this thing. And another goal attempt is successful as Atl Rovers FC take a 3-0 lead, sneaking in the back post with a header. And he's doing the dance. Number 18, Manuel Carrillo with a brace.
The first one caught me off guard. This one caught you off guard. We'll take a look at it. Good little stop, stutter, made it into space, locked it into the goal. Nothing in there that the keeper could do. Back of the net. He watched that one go right on by. 3-0.
Manuel Carrillo with his second of the day, and the second one was a beaut. Jumps up at the far post. I apologize. Jumps up at the near post and beats Euler Salas, who watched it go right by. 3-0 Rovers.
And Drew, there's already an over-under talking about who's going to be the goal scorer, the golden boot of the spring season. And Christopher Uranga from Potros said a little bit earlier that Manuel Carrillo was going to be the top goal scorer. He's already proven him right.
One more time trying to find an on-running. Chris Derone unsuccessful, trying to go up 4. Rennie Matthews pushes it out to the left side. Can Rodriguez keep it inbounds? He does. Push it to the top of the 18. Rennie Matthews with a sliding tackle commits a foul right at the top of the 18. Free kick for FC Atlanta, who have just been hit by the goal bug. In the latter portion of this second half, they fought all the way through, but those second half reinforcements for Atl Rovers came on strong, did their job, and they are going to secure a first round win here in the Spring Regional Cup, as their title defense is off to a good start. Throw in for FC Atlanta.
But just to put bookends on our conversation, when we talk about the teams in the UPSL, a lot of the teams that have been powerhouses in the last few seasons, they're now out. So we have new blood coming in, and it's exactly what you need here in the UPSL Georgia Conference.
Speaking of Georgia FC, they're the last team to beat South Carolina United Heat, who are in the national playoff final as we speak.
Yeah, that match will kick off here in just about 24 minutes in Irvine, California. We can't say enough that we hope South Carolina comes home with that title.
Bring it back to the South.
We were blessed to be able to see 3 of their matches, and we're just absolutely impressed. I hope that the goalkeeper Rocco can continue on. A little bit of another hit on that hip flexor in the match in the semifinal on Friday. Took a bit of a knock, had to work it out. Hopefully he's okay. He makes it through the whole 90.
And if you do have a chance to watch South Carolina Heat United play tonight on the Viard Network, keep an eye on that back 3. It's arguably the best back 3 in the country. And Alejandro Rodriguez tried to go far post. Euler Salas read it all the way, and it just sneaks wide right. Goal kick taken quickly by FC Atlanta. But yeah, Larry, what more can you say about that defense for South Carolina Heat? It got them to the dance. What do they say? Offense sells tickets, defense wins championships. And hell, I tell you what, our first game that we got the opportunity to call for South Carolina Heat when they played Olympiacos in North Carolina, what a defensive display.
Well, in the last match that we covered for them when they took on Little Haiti down at MOBA, number 21, Michael Smith, he put on an absolute clinic in that match as a defender.
Nice defensive display there by Chris Ramos, the attacking right winger here for Rovers. Lots of hybrid play in today's soccer. Baldovinos keeps swinging, finds the feet of Paolucci. They're looking to just run this clock down. Got about a minute plus stoppage remaining in this game. Atl Rovers FC on top of FC Atl Academy 3-0. Lots of space here for Montero. Receives, turns. Nice through ball by Sebastian Montero. Can this be a hat trick? And it can't. He lets it get away from him just a little bit. Nice goalkeeping by Euler Salas to not allow Manuel Carrillo to complete his hat trick. That last touch.
And it almost got away from him because he was so focused on cutting out the hat trick that the ball got a little bit away from him and almost got it from another player.
Like to shout out Sebastian Montero with a beautiful reception, a beautiful turn, and what vision to thread that needle and find a through ball. Carrillo should have had 4-0, and there it is. Not much stoppage today as the final whistle has been blown. Atl Rovers FC take care of FC Atl Academy 3-0. Lots of chances here in the second half for FC Atl. Not as much as in the first half. Those reserves, those reinforcements came off the bench for Atl Rovers, made their names known. They roll on with a comfortable 3-0 lead. But you got to say, FC Atl Academy have to be happy. They are the defending champs, are the Rovers, so you expected more from them, so you know they're not going to be happy. But you got to say, FC Atl Academy have to be happy with their display today, Larry.
They pushed forward, the Atl Rovers in those last 20, 25 minutes. They really pushed forward and they showcased how good of talent that they are and came away with this victory.
That's not going to be all for us today. Stay tuned. Final matchup of the evening, LGSA Lamino taking on Clayton International FC. But that's going to do it for this contest. Atl Rovers FC defeat FC Atl Academy 3-0 here at Southern Crescent Stadium in Riverdale, Georgia. That's going to do it. Stay tuned for the contest coming up here. We will see you soon.
This has been a presentation of the UPSL. Any use of this broadcast without the written consent of the Atlantic Soccer Media Group is prohibited.